What's up, Woodland United Fellowship? Hey, I have the book of the quarter in my hand, Evangelism As Exiles. And in this book, the author, a missionary in Asia, talks about and accounts his story about what it's like to do ministry and evangelism in an environment where people don't normally just run towards Christianity. It's an environment where, in his case, being a Muslim is much more common, and being a Christian, well, you're definitely the minority. And he talks about, as he walks through 1 Peter in this book, talks about how valuable it is to love people, to have personal relationships with people. It's not all about building a big old church and doing a bunch of big events. It's about personal conversation, personal relationships with people that can begin to transform their hearts into someone who's resisting God to someone who's loving God as they get to experience the love of God through you. In chapter 3, I want to just read a brief portion of this book, maybe just to get you familiar with the heart of the author as he's writing about evangelism. This chapter, in chapter 3, is about respecting other people. And in 1 Peter chapter 2, Peter talks about the importance of respecting people in authority and how that is what we are called to do and how that can impact the witness that we have to the people around us. Listen to this in chapter 3 of this book. It says this: just as our enduring hope, that is, hope in Christ, can be a compelling testimony when we suffer for the cause of Christ, showing respect to our rivals has a way of validating the gospel that we preach. Many times, maybe you've seen this, many times people won't be compelled to listen to our message on account of sound arguments or persuasive evidence. Instead, their ears will only open when we demonstrate clear kindness, meekness, and compassion. The fact is, ridiculing your opponents is the privilege of the powerful. But now, as an excluded minority, American Christians no longer have the upper hand. Maligning our culture and religious adversaries is therefore no longer an effective strategy. The days of mocking atheists, crass joking about homosexuals, slurring Muslims, and making derogatory remarks about political rivals need to end. They should have never existed. Wow. There is a desire in us sometimes, even as Christians, to look at the political environment, look at the social environment, and think just pessimistic ideas and concepts and such. And we talk about that a lot rather than being optimistic about how God is working. When we, as people who have a firm hope in Jesus Christ, walk around with our head down and are frustrated and are complaining all the time, that's not demonstrating that we have a secure hope in Jesus Christ. It's just showing the rest of society around us, the people around us, the friends, the coworkers, that our hope isn't resting in the one who brings joy and love to this world, but rather our hope is set in people who are not following Jesus. As we, Christians in this world, as we desire to show people that we love and we care about, as we desire to show them Jesus, as we desire to show them the gospel, we can do that. Not necessarily by answering big questions and having great arguments, but by showing them that we love them and that we honor them, even when we don't agree with them.